What's up, fandom? I'm Josh.
I'm Connor.
And I'm Jaden.
And we're here to burger your turds.
Your turds will be burgled.
Your turds will be burgled. Because today we're going to be talking about Over the Garden Wall. So this is the last episode in October, which usually October is Spooktober. We do the whole themed month of spookiness. But I've been very busy. And I forgot to plan a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't just like a good like Halloween like series. It's also just like a good like autumn series.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's got the spooks to it, but it's also just got like that fall aesthetic.
Definitely. And it's one of those, like, you could drink this. I mean, you could watch this with a nice pumpkin spice latte.
Absolutely.
And not feel bad.
No.
Because I mean, the whole the whole series is what, like almost about 2 hours?
Like hour and a half, no more.
Well, because like there's 10 episodes and they're like 11 minutes each.
Okay.
So I was like, about 2 hours. Almost. I stopped midway through and got canes. So like I stopped at like episode 5 and I was like, episode 5 is a good stopping point. I'm gonna go get food. Came back and was still finished in plenty of time to do this. So yeah, like it's a good, easy film
Didn't you do the
or series.
Thing with the last movie that we did an episode about. So you stopped and got food halfway through.
Oh, you mean in Justice League? Not Justice League. No, Suicide Squad. Yes, I did. Yeah. Well, because I've been like doing stuff beforehand, and then like I'll get so caught up, and I'll be like, oh man, I gotta watch this film, and they'll be like, oh. The last time I ate was at 8 a.m. I should, and it's 6 o'clock. I should probably eat again because we're going to go for like maybe an hour and a half on this podcast. So I'm like, everything will be closed by like, I don't record until like 9 o'clock. So like everything will be closed. So it's like, I should probably go get food. And that's what I did. Nice. And then you guys pushed the podcast like 7 hours. Not naming Jaden's, but it happens.
I'm not going to name Jaden.
Yeah. But yeah, so Jaden is joining us from beautiful sunny California. That's why he doesn't have his camera. So yeah, you guys just get to hear his beautiful voice. As he chews on some stuff that he made that he was bragging about earlier before we started recording.
Yeah.
This guy over here. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about Over the Garden Wall. So fantastic cast, by the way. So I've got Elijah Wood as Wirt, Colin Dean as Greg. We have Melanie Linsky as Beatrice, Christopher Lloyd as the Woodsman.
Christopher freaking Lloyd.
Samuel Ramey as the Beast. And also we have, hold on, I got this, guys. As the real villain of this series, Cole Sanchez as Jason Funderburger.
True.
The true villain of this entire series.
Absolutely.
This short 10 episode show. Okay.
All will bow before me.
So yeah, this show, it came out 2014, so 7 years old. Congrats.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. When did oh wow. Came out the beginning
of November.
Like okay.
Just a couple days after.
I had just started my first year of university.
Oh, look at you going to uni.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun times there. With 2014, lots of crazy things happened in 2014. I don't know any of them. But so this came out. When did you guys first see this show? Like, was it like, were you guys like watching Cartoon Network and like watched it when it first aired, or how did you guys, like, did you catch it afterwards? I know I did. I don't think I caught this till like 2017. Maybe
I think I'm about the same. Yeah, I saw it maybe a year or two after it came out. I think on Hulu. I know I streamed it.
Yeah, same. I think it was like a Hulu or maybe I don't think it was a Netflix. Probably a Hulu.
Yeah, I remember. I saw it because a friend of mine was already a big fan of it, and so we watched it over an evening. Yeah.
Same. That was like our one of our original co-hosts, Hannah. She loved the series and was like, you should watch this and do an episode on it. I was like, okay. And so did. And I was like, wow, I was pleasantly surprised with how good this show was. Elijah Wood, fantastic.
Absolutely. Literally everyone in this show, like every voice actor, just absolutely like phenomenal job.
I mean, yeah, we also get like John Cleese and Tim Curry.
Yeah.
So it's like oh man, like it's so good. Just like watching, you're like, oh, there are a lot of really good names in this. Very surprising but I mean, I guess if you got that Cartoon Network money, they're like, we'll get whoever we want to on this.
But it's also fascinating that like a Cartoon Network show would be like, hey, can we get the guy from Monty Python on this?
I mean, that's like, is that post Harry Potter? When did the last John Cleese Harry Potter come out? Would that have been like Order of the Phoenix? I don't know if he was in Half-Blood.
I'm pretty sure
might have been around that time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the second Deathly Hallows came out when I was still in high school.
I think it was 2017.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember I stood in line at the Warren Theater in Oklahoma in order to get tickets. Spent the night with Oliver and someone else. Camped out by the movie theater so we could get balcony seats.
Wow.
Wait, I was completely wrong. It came out in 2011.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah, way off.
So it did come out when I was still in high school.
Well, that just dated me. Because you had to be 21 to be in the balcony. Because they serve booze. I'm sorry, adult beverages. They serve adult beverages. So we're a good podcast that is family friendly. That's why we're gonna burgle your turds.
Exactly.
So yeah, this show. So, what are some of your favorite moments from this show? Well, we'll talk about our favorite moments, and then we can kind of go into like the music and the animation.
The Schoolhouse episode is one that I hold very dear to my heart. Just potatoes and molasses can live rent-free inside my head for eternity. I also absolutely loved the Quincy Endicott like giant mansion episode. It's just because John Cleese does an amazing job, but also it's just like I love like freaking the horse. What's his name?
Fred the horse, the actor.
Yeah, Fred Solar as Fred the horse.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Did you like that clip I sent you earlier today?
Yes. I want to steal.
That's what I thought you'd say, you big horse. Like the best.
That's what I thought you'd say.
Like that was great. Like I was like, somebody posted that, and I was like, first off, that clip is great, and then the John Mulaney bit, and then the John Mulaney dressed like Wirt, and I'm like,
it's a
beautiful.
Perfect storm.
It's a beautiful bit.
It belongs in a museum.
It definitely belongs in a museum. Yes. Like somebody get Indiana Jones on that. He's dead now.
We don't need Indiana Jones.
Who do we need?
We
what?
just need someone to take the meme and put it in a museum. I don't think that's a particularly like high stakes.
But what if there's Nazis or communists?
You know, I know at least a handful of people that are willing to go toe to toe with some Nazis.
Well, then we should hire them to get it to the museum.
My people will talk to their people.
Somehow, I don't know how you do that. Like, we'll get them a flash drive. Maybe we'll get them a flash drive that has the
strings.
It's like, here's a flash drive with a GIF, please.
Yeah. Well, it's not a GIF because
it's got sound. So what is that? Is that just a clip?
It's just be an MP4 file.
But what would you call that? Like, if I was to send you that, I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going to send you an MP4 file to look at.
It'd just be a video.
Okay, so it's just so you would just say a video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
we should come up with a better name, because we've got memes, we've got GIFs, but we should have something for like that type of, not like it's almost like a TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's probably stolen off of TikTok.
Some videos are also referred to as memes.
Memes?
No.
No, not the memes.
No.
Not
the memes.
Not the memes. But okay, so like I really like, oh man, like the show's just so good. I just watched it again right before we started recording. The whole journey, I like the journey. I like the pumpkin episode where they go to that one's really good. Yes. Especially the ominous, like, it's like, are you sure you don't want to stay? It's like, no. It's like, okay, well, you'll come back one day. And it's like, nice.
So that episode is a good example of something that I noticed about this whole series. In that there is this like recurring, almost in every episode, there's this recurring trope of like things not being quite what they seem, but the way that they are not quite what they seem, they are actually less threatening than they seem.
Yeah.
Right? So like the town of pumpkin people,
it's like
that
iron
at first seems
something.
like a cult and like seem like they're gonna murder you and bury you, is actually just this town of skeletons that when they come out of the ground, they put on some pumpkins and then they have a party. And the big floaty pumpkin guy is actually just a cat. It's a cat.
Yeah. Because I mean, cats are basically servants of death. So
yeah. And like there are other things of like, some things are not less threatening. It's different than you expect. Or like the crazy, like big old aunt is not actually the monster. It's her niece.
Yeah, like Auntie Whispers is not the bad guy. No, Auntie Whispers is trying to save.
Auntie Whispers is also a little manipulative.
Yeah,
like,
yes, this is true.
There's a little bit of toxicity there, but
yeah, it's almost like some Tangled. It's almost like a Mother Gothel. But
it is a bit of that situation.
Yeah, but we don't really know too much.
No.
Too much. Like Rapunzel, I don't believe was eating people. I could be wrong. Could have happened.
Yeah. Even down to freaking Jason Funderburger is made out to be like, oh man, Jason Funderburger must be this like, this guy must have all of his crap together and must be
he must be playing. He must be playing on the football team.
And then you see him and hear him, and you're like, "This is the guy that Word is worried about."
I mean, I would be worried about him with a name like Jason Funderburker.
Not even like Sarah isn't even worried about him.
No,
Sarah treats him like a little brother.
Like,
Jason.
I did like, when he's like, look, a ghost. And she's just like, no, it's okay. And he's like, no. He had an ex. Yeah, just stupidness. But yeah, like I really like that episode, like with Auntie Whispers, because that's Wirt starting to, lose faith in himself at the beginning.
Mhm.
And then you have him going and being like, oh, like I've found a new purpose. I'm going to escape with what is her name? It's not Eleanor.
Beatrice?
It's like, no. It's like Lorland.
Wait, who are we talking about?
The bad person with Auntie Whispers.
Oh,
it was like Lorland.
Ringing the bell. Lorna.
So with Lorna, he's like, okay, I'm going to escape with her. We get a bunch of cute blushing and everything, because that's what you do.
They have a nice duet.
They do.
Not sure if it's diegetic or not.
They basically sing "Love's an Open Door."
Yeah.
And then she tries to eat him. So it's just all fun. And then that kind of like starts his like, oh, well, definitely in this spiral staircase of nothingness.
The angst starts to accumulate.
And the angst gets him good. And then in the next episode, that's when Greg has a weird acid dream.
Yeah. Yeah. We get some real like old fashioned nonsense animation. It's a great time.
Definitely. It's like when Mabel got high on Smile Dip. Yes, very much exactly. So. What about you, Jaden? Oh, and I also love I love the growing relationship between like Wart and Beatrice. And then Wart's growth throughout, and then Beatrice's kind of like growth throughout as well. Because honestly, to me, they have the story arcs. Greg doesn't have a story arc. Greg is Greg. Greg is just a wholesome little bean.
Greg is what everyone else in the series should strive to be.
Yes. But yeah, so definitely it's Wart and
it is Wart,
Beatrice. Yeah, I'm saying it's the way that it's WERT. It's Wart.
It's WUR. No, it's WIRT.
Yeah, Wart. It's Wart, but I don't know. I'm from Oklahoma, so it's Wart.
I thought it was WURT.
It's apparently WIRT on IMDb.
I'm looking at WIRT on Wikipedia, which I realize is not like
that's
the most credible source.
I should probably pop it up on HBO Max and like check it out real quick just to make sure. Be like, how is this spelled? But no. What about you, Jaden? What are some of your favorite parts?
To be honest, I've seen it, but it was so long ago, and I only rewatched up to the episodes that you guys were just talking about, the pumpkin skeleton people and the school teacher, which I think is like episode 3-ish around there, 3 or 4. Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit of a fever dream to me. I think the part that surprised me the most was the ending, which I guess spoilers. If anybody hasn't seen it by now, it's already been a while.
It's been 7 years. Get on it.
Yeah, it's been 7 years. But just the ending being that whole like, oh, it was kind of in the backyard the whole time, like kind of thing. I was like, what?
But they weren't in the backyard.
No.
Because
some kind of, it was one of those like, oh, it was all a dream, but not really kind of.
Yeah, I don't much care for reveals like that, where it's just like, did any of it really happen? Like, let weird things happen.
Well, it did really happen. They just went back. Like that's like they were able to Wirt was able to resolve the issues and find out that and basically figure out, yes, I'm the one who, or the beast was there and like brought them into the world so he could turn them into trees.
The Edelweiss.
To the Edelweiss. So we have that. And then so when they wake up, they're back in the water. And so that's like where they left and then comes back. Because Jason Funderburker has the bell in his stomach still.
Yeah, the frog.
The frog. Yeah, like I said, Jason Funderburker.
Yeah.
Our frog. So he still has that in it. And then like Beatrice is still there. Mom's still saying, eat your dirt. everything like that. It is kind of weird where the huntsman's daughter was the entire time, unless unless she was there back home the entire time.
Yeah,
and
I think
then
that
the
was
huntsman
the situation.
Just left and was, killing other people the entire time. Technically a murderer, but
technically they were trees.
But trees live.
Yeah.
Past the ends.
True.
We're just going to keep going back to Lord of the Rings.
But it's just one guy, so it's sustainable.
Yeah. It's definitely sustainable. Yeah. And, he's only taking like branches and stuff. So, I mean, gonna be a while.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of The Beast?
I love The Beast. I think The Beast is kind of what made me go from this is kind of a fun and cute series to I love this, because I love the fact that like The Beast is genuinely like really creepy.
Yeah,
like a terrifying creature, and it was a very like bold choice to write something like that into a Cartoon Network show, which, Cartoon Network have made many bold choices since and up to. Mm-hmm. So it's not the hugest surprise. But that's really like that character is kind of the element that I think turns this series from good to great. Yeah.
Because I mean, like if we go like back to those like early to mid 2000s run of Cartoon Network, and they're just like not caring. Like, how far can we push the censors?
Yeah.
And they do it.
Which they're still doing.
Oh, yeah.
And, more power to them.
I mean, yeah, like it's one of those, like, if you can get away with telling, a more mature story and a story that is like tells I don't know. I was trying to.
Like an ageless story.
Yeah, something that, will, you can not really do, like
relate to.
Yeah, relate to. My God, guys, it's too late. We can't be doing these recordings at like 10 o'clock anymore. I can't do them. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh no.
But I was gonna say something on the topic of The Beast. Since I mentioned Centaur World earlier, if you really like The Beast from Over the Garden Wall, you will really, really like the antagonist in Centaur World, because there's a beast kind of along those lines of like Over the Garden Wall vibes.
Yeah.
He's called the Nowhere King. He's a really cool character. Mm-hmm.
All right.
He has his own creepy song and everything.
Very good.
But yeah, I guess like because since Over the Garden Wall came out years prior to that, and Centaur World came out this year, I've definitely seen an ongoing theme of these type of beast type antagonist characters. Same thing in Adventure Time with the Lich.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I was wondering, was like, did this come out before the Lich got introduced? I couldn't remember. I was trying to think, but I don't think the Lich may have been first.
Yeah, I think so.
One of the things that I think was also really well done about the Beast is that you see what he looks like for half a second.
Yeah.
In the entire series. Other than that, he's like kind of slender, humanoid, has these weird like antlers that go straight to the side. That's it. And then you see like a slight glimpse, and you're like, oh crap, he's made of Edelwood.
It's a scary thing, and you're like, oh man, what a weird.
It's the one jump scare in the show.
In the show, yeah. And like other than that, like they're like, we're not going to do any jump scares. No, we don't need it.
It's just going to be vibes.
I think it's scarier when you don't know what it looks like. Yeah.
That was the problem. Like that's why Signs was really good until they showed the aliens, and then you were like, oh,
yeah.
We don't need to see the alien. Same thing in what was that other M. Night Shyamalan film? The Village. Same thing. Yeah, like when you can't see them, and then you're like, then you see them, and you're like, oh, that's just the villagers. That kind of. Sorry, I spoiled that movie for you. That movie that came out like almost 20 years ago. Sorry for spoiling The Village, guys. What did you guys think about the animation? I like it. I like a nice 2D animation. I am a big fan of a nice 2D animation.
When considering it came out in 2014, it's like it's fascinating how like old-fashioned it feels.
Yeah, it feels cinematic to me, more like a movie. Because technically, if you just watch it, if you binge the whole thing, it is like because of the length of it.
Because that was 2014. Disney had basically quit the 2D everything.
Yes, the last 2D Disney film in theaters, I think, was Princess and the Frog.
It was Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
And that was what, 2008? 2009? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Tangled was their first, their first one that like started this new era of we're only doing this CG stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I think that was in 2010.
Yeah, 2010. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was literally the next year. They were like, we'll do Princess and the Frog, and then we'll do Tangled.
Yeah.
And then we'll do this thing where we come up with one like every like 2 or 3 years. We'll do that switch off between like Pixar and Disney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love a good 2D. I thought it was great. The humor in the show is great.
The humor in the show is Greg.
Yes, the humor is great.
Save for, well, I guess there's some Quincy Endicott is a funny character. You got Fred the horse.
Wirt and Beatrice do have some really good one-liners and zingers together. Like when he was like, "Oh, this is more of a French sconce," talking about everything's like when Endicott's this is more of a Gregorian style, just like of the architecture, and it's just like, what the heck are you talking about? Like I thought that was great. I wish we could have heard a little bit more of the poetry. I do like him being this like starving artist, like poet who's like heart is broken the entire time. I was like, man, if we just get this guy like some bongos, it'll be amazing.
There's a little bit of Squidward in there.
Does play the clarinet?
There's a little bit of Squidward in there, like young Squidward
before he moved into. Yeah. I also like that. Yeah, it is nice that this happens like on Halloween. So like this whole, I guess you could be like this whole entire episode is just like one long Halloween thing.
It's the Halloween special.
And I like it when shows do that. Do like just like pick a specific thing, like a specific time, and they're like, all right, our entire show or movie focuses on this aspect right here, but we're barely going to mention that aspect.
Yeah.
We're only going to mention it's Halloween in episode 9. That's the only time we're going to mention it's
9
Halloween.
9 of 10.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the penultimate episode is when you find out, oh, it's Halloween.
Yeah. It's like it's like Green Knight where they're just like, oh yeah, it's Christmas.
Yeah. It's like, oh wait, is it? I thought it was just snowy and cold. It's like, yeah, Christmas.
That's how it all starts, is with the Christmas party.
Yeah,
it's downhill from there.
And stuff like Jurassic World. I love that Jurassic World is a Christmas movie because they're playing Christmas music in the airport, and that's the only reason that you know that is a Christmas film.
Yeah, I
love that. It's like nobody mentions the fact that it's Christmas in Costa Rica or the Christmas season. I will say that is a little bit unbelievable because I feel that Jurassic World would be like a Disneyland or a Universal and would pimp out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they would be like, look, here's a T-Rex and a Santa hat.
And I do feel like, I feel like Over the Garden Wall is different because it does still like access the spirit of Halloween. Like Green Knight doesn't necessarily access the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, the monsters, like the whole thing is very Halloween-y.
Yeah.
It sets the tone for it.
And you're wondering what Wirt's dressed up as the entire time. It's like, is he supposed to be a wizard? Is he a gnome?
Yeah. Why is Greg wearing a teapot on his head?
He's an elephant.
He's clearly an elephant.
He's clearly an elephant. I will say, I do like those two when they're at the football game. And there's the one girl dressed like a bunny, I guess.
There's the one girl who's just an egg. Who's
just an egg. And she's like, and he's like, I'm an elephant. And she's like, I'm an egg. He's like, we know you're an egg. He's like, shut up. You know, it's like, I thought that was good. I was like,
I didn't need that dialogue, but I'm glad I got it.
Exactly. It's like, we don't need it. We don't need Greg going over and like hitting the egg and like Humpty Dumptying her. Like, we don't need that. But we got it, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't
essential to the plot, but it was essential to the experience.
Exactly. Like the girl with the that was dressed like the rabbit. For whatever reason, I was getting like Arthur vibes. I was like, "Are you from Arthur?" Like it was like I think it was the nose.
Like some DW vibes.
Basically, yeah. I was like, "What in the world is this? This is that show's ending. This is the last season for Arthur."
Yeah.
After what, 25 years? 20 something years?
I think it was 22.
22? It's a long time.
Interesting. That's a show I grew up watching.
I've never seen a single episode.
Yeah.
That was after my time. Dude, guys, I am so much older than you. It's ridiculous. That was past my prime.
I remember being heartbroken when Baxter went to travel with his dad. Spoilers for Arthur.
Is Baxter the rabbit?
Baxter is the best friend rabbit.
Yeah.
Did he come back, or is he still out traveling with his dad?
I can't remember. I remember
like, he had like a spin-off kind of situation where he would talk about the places that he would travel.
Yeah, every now and then he would contact Arthur and be like on an airplane or like in a restaurant.
He should not be contacting anybody on an airplane. Like, what happens
I think he was like writing a letter on
the plane. Phone call interferes with the pilot. Like, what happens if the pilot is like concentrating too much?
No,
on the
it was a phone call.
Yeah, because back then
he was writing a letter.
Weren't being given to kids.
They had phones 20 years ago.
Yeah, but not given
Baxter
to like 10-year-olds. Yeah, no.
I mean, if it's like, here, son, call your friend Arthur while we're flying to Costa Rica to go to Jurassic World.
It was not a phone call. It's been a long time since I saw the show.
They did a carrier pigeon.
But if it's a carrier pigeon,
it's an actual person in
Arthur. Full of animals.
Yeah, it's a real person. It's just a very small person, and you're just like, and you just throw it up.
Parachute out of the plane.
Yeah,
with the letter.
Like I was listening to there's a podcast I listened to called Kill James Bond, where they watch like a James Bond movie for every episode.
It would be weird if they didn't. Like, it would be weird if they didn't watch a James. Like, we're gonna watch, Lost in Space, and you're like, huh?
But for some of their like Patreon like bonus episodes, they just will watch like James Bond adjacent movies. And so they did a bonus episode where they watched Cars 2.
Okay, that's fair.
And they just went into full existential crisis about some of the implications of the Cars world that movie makes. There's a Cars Pope that drives around in the Pope Mobile, implying that in the Cars world, Jesus. There was a Pope assassination attempt.
Well, that also means there was Car Jesus.
There was Car Jesus.
And Car Jesus died on a cross, I assume.
Yes, that is as far as we know.
Like,
across a walk? Or a cross?
What do you mean?
The car. What?
That was terrible. That took me a second, and I hate the fact that it took me any time at all. I also hate the fact that you said that.
I hate the fact that I had to put like human processing power into that.
Like, Somehow we used brain cells and they immediately died.
They immediately just shriveled up.
I what the heck, man?
It's
Crosswalk? Why would you say that?
Why would anyone make a card Jesus? Don't ask me these questions. I'm not
ask Jimmy Pixar, man. That wasn't me.
Someone get Jimmy Pixar on the horn.
I love doing that. I did that for we were talking about we did that Evangelion episode that came out, and I always use like Jimmy whatever. Yeah. And so like I used Jimmy Amazon, and I was like, oh no, wait, there actually is a president of Amazon. And then it was like, I mean, Jeff, yeah. Did Jeff contact? Well, I was like, you talking with Jimmy Amazon? I'm like, yeah. Oh no, wait, that would be Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is Jimmy Amazon.
Yeah. Anyway, over the garden
crosswalk.
Yes.
Oh. I'm okay. Over the Garden Wall, fantastic film, 10 episodes, about 11 minutes each episode. Yeah. I also love the fact that it's not a long intro.
No, it's just some nice strings and then you're done.
Yeah. It's like, and you get like Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah.
And then
except for the
here's
first
the title.
Episode that has like the full frog at the piano.
Yeah, but that's also like giving us, insight into the world. Yes. Yeah, that's, giving us a little bit of insight.
Like, yes, in this world, there is a frog that can play the piano.
Yeah.
And spin around.
I do like that it is Beatrice's dog that that eats a turtle and turns into a wolf.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Beatrice's dog.
Whoa.
Yeah, because like she's sitting with the dog at the beginning and like looking forlorn. And then like, cause she looks up into it looks like she's like looking up into a tree. And I'm like, this is when she's about to throw a stone at a bluebird. And then at the end, she's with her family again and the dog is there. And I'm like, nice. I believe it's like a King Charles Spaniel.
Okay.
Looks like one.
Neat.
Maybe it's just a Charles Spaniel. I don't know if it's a king or not.
I don't think there is a Charles Spaniel.
I believe there is a Charles Spaniel.
They are only just the Royal Charles Spaniels.
What? So you think they are kings?
Do you think someone would name a spaniel? Do you think someone named Charles would just get a spaniel named after them if they weren't a king?
Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know if they still continuously call them King Charles Spaniels, or if they just go Charles Spaniel. Okay. Well, this has been Dog Talk.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. We should do an episode where we should. You know what we should do? We should do the movie Cats. The new one that came out.
I'm gonna stop you right
and
there.
Then, wait. Yeah. Only because we can call it a podcast. Anyway, that's
pretty sure that already exists.
And I thought my crosswalk joke was bad.
No, yours was worse. That was 1,000 times worse than podcasts.
It was worse, but not much worse.
I only say that because the amount of times that I've typed podcasts, like in our posts and everything, insanity.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
in this case, you would still need to put in podcast.
Podcast. That's a hard one.
That's a new vocal one.
Yeah, give that 5 times fast, 10 times. Do it 10 times. Oh, you'll do like as I said, do it 5 times. You get through 5 times, and you'd be like, yeah, that's easy. But then that 6th time comes around.
That 7th time sneaks up on you.
Yep, it comes at you fast. Yeah. Like life. Yes. Oh, guys, I'm too tired. I can't do this anymore.
Okay. I'm honestly glad that this episode is one of the more chaotic ones.
Because it's like we can't talk anything bad.
No.
Like there's nothing wrong with this. Like the only thing is like I wish there was more.
Yeah.
But I also don't wish there was more because it wraps everything up. I like the way it ends. if they were to go back to it like 10 years from now, which it's almost been, like I would be fine if they did another one.
I kind of want this to be one of the things where it's just, this is all there is and this is all there needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, like that, I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if they decided to do more, I wouldn't be like, no, don't touch my beautiful thing.
Sure. If the writers and creators were like, there's actually more that we can do with this world, then be my guest. But
I think it would be cool to see a prequel. Not a sequel, but maybe a prequel.
Okay.
Like a prequel for The Beast?
For any
we know what happened. The Beast was this French guy. The Beast was this French guy. He lived in a quiet little town in France. Yes, and this hunter and his gang like chased him out of town. They were trying to kill him, probably saying something along the lines of "kill the beast," and basically chased him out into this. What?
I think you.
Did you finally? You got there? Okay, there it is. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, what's going on? Okay, so final thoughts. Okay, Jaden, final thoughts on this series.
It was definitely different in terms of tone. Like you said, more mature, more serious. But I think that since then, the thing that's come closest to along those lines of being that tone, kind of dark, more mature, is probably Infinity Train. It's kind of like right up that alley. But yeah, it's one of its own kind on Cartoon Network. I don't think they've done anything like it since, like a limited series where it's just like that self-contained, nice little wrap-up story. But it's really good.
I was thinking about Infinity Train when Josh, you mentioned where it's like, where it's done the character development that he needed to, and then he exits, the unknown. Like he's resolved his struggles for the most part, and now that has happened, he leaves the mysterious place.
Yeah, like I would be interested, like if they decide to do like if they did like an Infinity Train thing, and like come back to this. But like, don't make it about war. Don't make it about, just like keep it in the same world of the unknown.
Yeah,
like a crossover, kind of.
No, I mean not anything to do with Infinity Train.
No.
But like have them, like Infinity Train, have a completely different story with completely different characters,
like an anthology.
Yeah, like that. But like just like different parts of the unknown. Like we don't ever have to hear about the Beast. We don't have to hear about the Woodsman or Beatrice or Word or Greg. Maybe Jason Funderburker. Maybe.
That would be interesting because the unknown, unlike the Infinity Train, doesn't necessarily have like a specific purpose.
Exactly.
It seems. It's not necessarily like an inherently positive place to be.
Because it would be interesting if what happens if people don't go back.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we don't really get that because all of our people on, the majority of our people on.
Maybe that's what happens. What happened? Maybe that's like the origin story of the Beast. Is almost like a Simon in the Infinity Train sort of situation.
Yeah, it's like he followed a little girl he rescued a little girl in a yellow raincoat, and then she like trapped him in this world with a TV, and now he's this big bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that game called?
Little Nightmares.
That's it. Like what happens if it's that type of little thing? Like, because like in Infinity Train, everybody gets out except for what's her face, because I guess she decides to like angel beats it and like make sure everybody else lives at the end or gets out. All the kids get out or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that base, like everybody in Infinity Train kind of like gets out. They get that in that they need.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting to have, somebody.
The conclusion be they are stuck here.
Yeah, like their conclusion is they're stuck there forever now, And that is the conclusion. And then you have a next one. And then it's like, oh, well, now we don't know about this person.
Yeah.
So that would be fun.
Yeah, the one season of someone like their resolution being their failure kind of throws the rest of the show into like, we really don't know what could happen.
Exactly. Or what if it's not failure? What if it's they just decide they don't want to go back? What if Wirt would have decided, you know what? I am going to save my brother. This isn't stupid. I'm going to become the woodsman. Like, what happens if we got that? Give me like a Disney Plus version of What If, and give me that What If. I would rather watch that than anything that Disney Plus has. So, also, real quick, I just want to say, I hate that so much. I get so many notifications for like the Disney What If stuff when they're like, they've recast Black Panther, or they've recast Thor, or they've recast Tony Stark for the Marvel What If stuff. And I'm like, because it's all animated.
Yeah.
And like, you're probably not going to get any of these people. Like, it's like that's not a recast. Like,
it's gonna
someone who does like Lego Avengers, they didn't recast Robert Downey Jr. It's like, that's
gonna be a little difficult to recast Black Panther.
Well, and anybody
to not recast.
Yeah, I mean, like anybody on there, like they're basically like, it's like Marvel has finally recast Tony Stark, and it's like, and this actor is going to be him in the What If thing, and I'm like, that's not a recast. That's just you're doing a new thing. Like, that's a cast. That's not a recast.
They've recast Iron Man in this new video game.
Exactly. It's like, that's not it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it blows my mind. I hate seeing it because I like the first time I clicked on it, I was like, oh, it's just for What If. Like, that's like, because the first one I saw was Black Panther, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they actually recast Black Panther. And there was like, no, it's for What If. And I was like, oh, well, that's not a recast, that's a cast. And then like they did it again for like Iron Man and like all these, and Captain America and Thor. And I was like, this is just casting information for an animated thing. It's like, just because they're still keeping what's her face who played Captain Marvel in there, it's like, just because she's reprising her character doesn't mean that they're recasting everybody else. It's not just they cast her to be in this.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. I hate it. Anyway, so what would you guys rank? Oh wait, Connor. Sorry, I went on a tangent there. Connor, final thoughts.
Oh, final thoughts. I can keep coming back to the show, and I'll keep noticing different little things. Like, you know, this time around, the things that I noticed were that trope of like, things not necessarily what it seems, but not necessarily in the way that you'd expect it to not be what it seems.
Yeah. I will say this is the first time I noticed the dog. That's why I brought it up. This is my first time being like, oh, it's the same dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, little stuff like that. I like that stuff. Yeah. Final thoughts. Just watch the show. It's such a good show. What would you guys rank this on pass, stream, rent, or buy?
I'd buy it. I would want to find a physical disc set of it.
There's a DVD version. I don't think they ever came out with a Blu-ray version, but there is a DVD version. I guess you wouldn't really
need like more than one disc, but
I think it comes in two.
Yeah.
I think they split 5 and 5 because they put a bunch of special features, and I think they put the pilot in there as well, which is completely different.
Haven't seen it.
It's a weird one. It's all like in like this weird like corn maze thing.
I remember seeing like the pilot
there's a car.
I remember seeing the pilot episode for Steven Universe, and just being like, this is weird.
Oh, dude, the pilot episode for Adventure Time.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh my goodness, the pilot episode for like that was one like again to date myself. I remember in school we were watching that like online because it was like, oh, this is this new thing. It's like this pilot for Adventure Time, the show that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
And it's basically just this idiot kid running around going mathematical and algebraic. And you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, is this what cartoons are now? And it was. That was basically the beginning of what cartoons are now.
That is what cartoons are now.
Jaden, what about you?
It's interesting. Like, I would probably buy it too, but I think I'd be more inclined to buy the art book for it. I would really like to see the like initial character designs, the storyboards, like just have a physical copy of the art of it.
Yeah.
I'd really like that.
I'm gonna go buy it because I own both of the things that you just said. Like I have the DVD and I have the art book.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I love the show. Like the moment that it was introduced to me, I was like, I love this show.
This is one of my new favorite things.
Like, because I think I had literally just finished Gravity Falls. Like it had like just wrapped up.
And I was scratches the same itch.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's in that same vein. And I'm like, yeah, all right. And so like, it was like right after Gravity Falls, watched this show, completely fell in love, went and like bought everything that I could for it. Yeah. So yeah, fantastic. Definitely worth a watch. Next week, who knows? Who knows what we're doing next week? We have like, not gonna lie, guys, we got like 10 episodes in the backlog.
Okay.
Like we've got like, if we needed to, we could take 2 months off.
I don't know if we need to do that.
Oh no, we won't. But I mean, it's one of those like, if we needed to, we could.
Yeah.
Like if you know,
I know I'm definitely going to be fading in and out because I'm still in the process of moving. I'm at an Airbnb. Like I need to find a real place to live. I'm still apartment hunting, so I might be like,
see if you can get a tiny house.
I thought of that.
Yeah, tiny house.
But I'm like, where do I put it?
That's the big. See, what you need to do is you need to find somebody with a yard. Like if you have any friends that like own a place, like have a yard, put it in their backyard. And that's where you tiny home. But they may have communities. I know they've got some communities. I think they're up in like Barstow, so it's probably not.
They're
close.
Like in Fresno.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
that's really far.
And you don't want to go to Fresno.
No.
No. You don't want to go to Fresno. No. Love you, Liam and Brittany. They live in Fresno. That's where our sister podcast is from. They're from Fresno.
Oh wow.
But yeah, terrible place. Don't go there. Definitely watch Over the Garden Wall. Just fantastic show. Like we tangented a lot because there wasn't anything really bad to say about this. I don't think we had differing opinions. So it wasn't like a Suicide Squad or a Green Knight episode. We didn't really have too much bad to say about Suicide Squad, did we?
No.
Really. I haven't seen it yet, so.
It was definitely not a Green Knight episode. Because I'm the only one who apparently didn't like it. The ending.
You also just had a bad experience watching it.
I did have a bad experience watching it. That's the reason I haven't seen Free Guy.
Oh.
Like, I want to see Free Guy, but
I've also heard good things about that one.
It's not available for video on demand yet.
Shoot.
And I'm like, just put it on video.
And same thing with like to go through those same uncomfortable seats.
Exactly. I don't want. I did read a thing. I think it was from Variety. And it was like this was like after 17 months of not being able to see a movie in the movie theaters, I finally saw one, and I've realized that movie theaters will destroy streaming. And I'm like, no.
You think?
I was like,
do you think so?
I was like, really? That's where you're going with that? Nah. But yeah, like I want to see that. Like I would like to give Shang-Chi a chance.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of really good things about
exactly, but I'm not going to go into a theater.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so also to date this episode next week, and Harold from the Tunes podcast and I will be at Fan Expo Dallas.
Nice.
Unless they cancel it.
Yeah.
Like everybody's I was really excited because Brendan Fraser was going to be, and I was like, oh, I want to interview Brendan Fraser, and then he dropped out. I was like, man, and all 4 of the Hobbits were going to be there, so bringing it back to Lord of the Rings. It was like the first time in like 10 years that all 4 of them were going to be together.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that'll be cool. Canceled.
Shoot.
Yeah. Very sad. Anyway, Jeremy Shada is going to be there. So going back to Adventure Time, he'll be there. See if we've put in requests for interviews. So if you see some like random Friday interviews drop where, between mid-October and now, or mid-September and now, if you see some like Friday episodes, like those were at Dallas Comic-Con. That's not what it's called. It's called Fan Expo Dallas. It's two different things. Dallas. Yeah, it's a different thing. Yeah. Anyway, it's crazy. It's a crazy world out there, kids. Jaden, where can everybody find you social media wise?
I'm most active on Instagram as Pixel Latte with 2 I's and 2 T's, and also Twitter, YouTube, getting to that eventually. Yeah, same handle everywhere. Pixel Latte.
Nice, Connor.
You can find me on Twitter at Connor Thiessen, as well as TallLankyGuy96 on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then I'm on YouTube and Twitch as Tall Lanky Guy.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. Find the podcast on Instagram at What's Up Fandom, on Twitter at What's Up Fandom PC for podcasts. All of the episodes, iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon Music. I don't know how you search there, but we're on Amazon Music. I don't know what that does. I don't know how you find podcasts on Amazon Music, but we're there. We also stream now-ish, kind of. I'm gonna start doing more. That's on Twitch at What's Up Fandom. Also our website, animationstationpodcast.com, and YouTube, What's Up Fandom Podcast, I believe. Find us all there, all the video content that we've got. Our buddy Josh does some really cool stuff with our graphics and everything. He did you notice? Oh, never mind. Anyway, don't worry about it. There's new stuff coming out. We got stuff all the time. Thank you guys so much for listening. For What's Up Fandom, I'm Josh.
I'm Connor.
And I'm Jada.
We're gonna go hang out in a graveyard and have age-appropriate beverages.
And that's a rock fact.
And that's...
I'm not the leading authority on waxing poetic or using big words, but this writer is my philosophy about living in such a world, yeah. You and I got a life to live, so what's the point of